Okay, it's Randy, and I'm going to go through my preliminary bidding. Today is February the 10th, 2013, and I've been looking at my Nashville Copart list for the past few days, and I have flagged me some vehicles in there that I'm interested in this week. And so I go through a lot of preliminary bidding with Copart, and so going to give you a few of my techniques, and maybe it'll give you a little insight. So I'm logged on into Copart.com, of course. Now I want to point out to you, I'm logged in as a member, and you can create a membership at Copart.com and preview all the inventory without having the password or anything like that. And so right now we're going to go over here to bid status, and you'll see my watch list. And these are the vehicles in my watch list that I have some interest in. We're going to go down through here and we're going to look at this Grand Marquis. I'm not particularly interested in this car for much more than what it's being offered at. Actually, this is an inspector's bid that he has put in on the car. Uh, just because the yard man over there has shown him some interest in the car. And it seems to be a good car, but quite frankly, it's not going to go. It's not a very desirable piece. It's a clean car. It looks like it's probably worth the money, but it's a 2007 Mercury Marquis, and he's put in $1,100 bid for it. Last week it brought over $2,000. So this week, it's just a waste of time, really, for me to go in there and even look at that. Now, the next vehicle that I'm looking at here is an '03 BMW. If you go here, you'll see that this is a Tennessee certificate of title car. It's a run and drive car. Has an ACV, which means very little of 13.5, and its current bid's 2250. Now, I had this car inspected over there, and seems to be a pretty decent car, but it's a Beamer. So for me, I looked up rough book on the car, and it's probably $2,000 to $3,000. It's right now at a bid of 2250, and by the time you pay the fees on this car, it's at $2,600. So I'm really going to stop my losses on it. I'm not interested in bringing a car out, especially a Beamer, which could have a high repair costs, even though it's a pretty nice car. I just want to wind up having a potential $4,000 in it and trying to make a profit from there. So it's not for me, but I'm not saying it may not be the kind of car you're interested in. Now the Toyota Avalon here, I'm still a prospect on it. Its preliminary bid is up to $1,050, but I'm going to stop preliminary bidding on this car because it could be shield bidding, and what shield bidding is, we have videos on that on our YouTube channel. And so when you get to the point of the last few hours of an auction in the preliminary bids, you have to be careful about the shield bids. And you want to stop your losses as quickly as possible. So, I'm not saying that I wouldn't give as far as much as $2,000 for the car, $3,000 for the car, but my preliminary bidding is going to stop at 1,050, and I'll take over with live auction bidding here. Now the next thing you're going to see here is this '89 Sea Ray boat with trailer. Um, it's at 1,300 bucks. It's an '89 model, but it's a pretty nice boat, and quite frankly, the trailer's worth $1,200 to $1,300. So it's just kind of the item that I'll bid on. I'm going to stay in on this boat to 2,000, $2,200, somewhere along in there, because I like it. I don't know if it runs or not, but I had the inspector look at it. It's in pretty decent looking shape, as you can see here. Uh, this is the kind of boat you can take out to the lake. For me personally, it fits something personally that I'm interested in. It's what could be a project boat. It floats. It's got a little cuddy cabin, so it's worth it to me personally to have something to play with out on the lake, restoring it. Even if I have to drop a motor in it later, it's just something to play with that if I get it up and running, then I can name my price on it if I buy it cheap enough. So, that's just something that I have an interest in. And then we'll go back to the watch list. We're going down to this 2000 Olds Intrigue. Um, it brought like $1,000 or I think $1,200 last week going through the sale. Now this is very important. If you'll notice, I can tell you pretty much what these cars brought last week. And what that really means is that the money they brought last week was a shield bid. That means that they never had real money on the car. They sold it with an if, and the owner turned it down. Well, the chances of the owner actually being the person that bid on the car are very good here with this Oldsmobile Intrigue. You see now it's starting at $325, and last week the average person would assume it sold for $1,200. Well, it didn't sell at all. The money was turned down. Uh, so that was a shield bid that I was competing against. And again, I had put my stop loss on this vehicle at $1,200 or $1,250, and I wasn't giving any more from that. I didn't then that, and so I didn't really care who was bidding on it. So that's one of the secrets of putting in a car. A car is worth what it's worth. It has nothing to do with who's bidding on the vehicle. So don't get caught up in that bidding process because you never really know who you're bidding against. You could be bidding against the actual owner of this vehicle. He is not prohibited from bidding on his own vehicle. So you want to be careful of that. Now, next is this 2001 Ford Ranger that I'm interested in. The reason I'm interested in this vehicle is because I don't have any trucks in my inventory right now. So for me, I'm particularly interested in getting some trucks on the car. This was one thing that particularly interested me. I have a link that gives me an automatic auto history of this vehicle. So I can click on this link and I can open it up, and this is what I get when I do that. It tells me that this vehicle is a two-owner vehicle, and it has a score of 84 out of a possible 76. So this is amazing. I saw a 2001 Ford Ranger go through Manheim last week for over $3,000. It was detailed, ready to go, pretty nice looking vehicle, but the car brought over $3,000, and it was a actual sale. It was sold for that. I personally think that's a little high. But I'm in on this vehicle probably to $2,000 to $2,100 just because I know the history of what trucks are bringing right now. Keep in mind this is tax time, so when you've got a vehicle history like this, I've had the vehicle checked out by my inspector who does my physical inspections on Friday, and he reported that the vehicle starts, runs and drives good, and will clean up nice. So this is the kind of vehicle that I'm going to bring in to the lot if I can at $2,000 to $2,200. Put on the lot with a retail price of $49.95, and hopefully it'll make some money. But I know it'll make some money from $2,000 to $2,200. So I'm very interested on that. I'm going to stop my preliminary bid here. It's up to $1,650. I had a $1,500 bid. It's hit $1,650. That could be coming from the owner of the vehicle because that vehicle is reaching a peak of what it would be worth uh, through another auction. So I'm not going to compete. What I think with is the owner of this vehicle at this time. I'll watch it, and then I want to see if it actually sells, or if it goes back through the sale next week again. Sometimes it may take you 2 or 3 weeks to buy a car from Copart, so you got to be prepared for that. Right back here again is a vehicle that one of our agents had me bid on with him last week, and it's a 1998 Mercedes. Now this vehicle has a rebuilt title on it, but we bid on it last week, and we bid up to $1,100, and the owner countered with a $2,000 bid. It's back now at $575. So it's now at $2,000 at a cash offer. I'm going to bid on this vehicle again. I'm coming right back with an $1,100 bid. Now, one thing I want to point out to you how Copart works is this vehicle is actually being offered again for the second time. So what happens when you list a vehicle for sale at Copart, that vehicle is run through for 3 weeks for $80. So it doesn't really cost these people any more to wait and get 3 runs at a buyer, and so they'll hold out till the third week to see if they can get their money. So this vehicle now has gone through for the second time. So I might not get it this week for $1,100, but next week the chances are real good that I'll get it if it doesn't bring over $1,100, because this person, like I said, it doesn't cost him any more to wait 2 weeks to try and get his money. So that's a very important strategy that you need to know with Copart. Now, this is a rebuilt title car, but it does start and run okay according to the inspections on it. And again, like I said, we're just going to continue to watch it, see if we wind up with it in the $1,100-$1,200 range. I don't think it's going to bring the 2,000, and it doesn't really matter to me if it does. I'm in on it till, like I said, $1,200-$1,300 bid, and that's as far as I want to go on that car. Cadillacs. I buy a lot of